Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. It's JalinnaGlam, and today I want you guys to get to know me a little bit better, and I'm going to be doing my makeup while I answer a couple questions that people sent me in on Instagram. So thank you to everyone who sent in a question. Thank you to everyone if you're watching this video, and make sure you join the family. Subscribe right now. Don't forget to whatever you're doing, make sure to grab your makeup bag. Let's get ready together. This will be posted on Sunday. This is a Saturday. And yeah, I'm gonna try to drag my man out the house and go on a little date. You know, you guys think I look date ready? Anyways, y'all, I wanna have some fun. Thank you so much for asking all the questions. We're gonna get right into it. And we're gonna get into doing this face. Again, if you guys have anything you guys wanna see from me, make sure to be dropping it in the comments. I do respond every day. I appreciate you guys so much. Love you guys. Let's get into it. Alright girls, I already started with the eyebrow, so just ignore. I'm looking a little lopsided right now. But we're about to get into these questions and also get into this makeup. So before I get into the questions, I just want to give you guys like a basic background of, you know, who your girl really is. And like, even if you used to watch me back in the day, first of all, thank you. I love you. But either way, we're starting fresh. It's been way too long. I'm a whole new person in reality. So so a little bit about me. I am born and raised in Broward County, Florida. I was born specifically in Coconut Creek and raised in North Lauderdale. I moved to Orlando when I was 18. So fresh out of college, literally my summer after senior year, I was already in college. And that was like a really comfortable transition for me because my best friend also was going to the same college, so we ended up moving into the dorms that summer. Not together, unfortunately, but you know, around the same area. So whatever, I moved to Orlando for college. I stayed there for the whole 4 years, and I left with my bachelor's of science in biology, pre-med, and it was a great experience. Loved college. I could go on about my college experience like forever. But after college, I ended up moving back to South Florida. I did get my own apartment. So I was living on my own for a while, and then my boyfriend moved in. So I was living there for a year and a half, I would say. And now for the last 3 months, I've been living in Houston. So, you know, some people say a big change. To me, I think it was like Florida's cousin. Like, so I feel good, but we'll get into that later. So yes, I am 24 years old. I am a Christian. I am in a happy relationship for 2 years. I love to travel. Travel has become one of my greatest loves over the last few years. I always thought I loved to travel, and then I realized that I never really traveled before. And that's no offense to anyone, but, you know, I've been to like Jamaica and Bahamas and, you know, like the States, US, blah, blah, blah. But it's like you only see so much variety so close. And so when I went further out and I had my Europe trips and Bali over the last few years, I just feel like my world opened up so much. And it's like, I get so riled up just about traveling. Like, I just love it. And anyone who is like, you know, I'm so scared to take a long flight. I'm so scared. Like, oh, please do not let 10 hours of your life. Like, you've spent 10 hours you have spent 10 hours watching a Netflix show, binging a Netflix show. Go be somebody. Go see the world. Like, oh, there's just like too much to see out there. Like, I love to travel. Anyways, so y'all see how I could yap about that all day. So now, why I'm doing makeup while I am answering all these questions. Makeup is one of my very first loves. I would say I started doing makeup when I was, I'd say like 14. Obviously I tried, you know, to play in makeup earlier, probably since I was like 7 or 8. I always had a lip gloss on me. I always had a little shadow, a little some shimmer. And I ended up being a makeup artist from the age of 16. So that's when I first started taking clients. And I was a makeup artist, I would say consistently for about I would say only about 2 years consistently. And then I've been on and off for so many years since then. So 16 was 8 years ago. So I've been on and off for 8 years. Technically 2 years. My first 2 years were really consistent. So junior and senior year of high school, I was going hard. Like I was bringing in money. I was like always focused on it. I was on my YouTube bag. I was, marketing myself so much with my makeup. And your girl was booked and busy. I'm literally honestly still so proud of that. But moving to college and seeing how different the demographic was just insane. Like, I'm only around broke college students. Not that everyone in Orlando is broke, but I was in college. So it's a whole bunch of broke college students. And yeah, I didn't know how to open up my lens at first to Orlando for the first 2 years I was there. And then the next 2 years, I was just like so outside. I wasn't even like thinking about it so much. I was like, well, I'm making money from this and this and this. So like it just, as much as I wanted to do it, I was like, I basically have to start all over again with marketing myself. So then when I moved back to South Florida, I did take a couple of clients. Honestly, clients from years prior, like people I hadn't done in 5 years or so were asking me to do their makeup, which is honestly awesome. Love you guys for the continued support because I was not posting. They just texted my phone or DM me on Instagram. I was like, hey, are you available so-and-so date? And love that. So I love doing makeup. In my last video, I talked a lot about where my makeup, I never stopped doing makeup, but there definitely is some ups and downs throughout my makeup journey. So since then, like I said, I was pre-med. So being pre-med, I was obviously really busy with school, but like I said, I was outside. So it was me trying to be okay, well, let me focus. Let me focus on being a doctor. And you know what's funny about me being a doctor? I wanted to be a dermatologist, a cosmetic dermatologist, so that I could do basically a lot of the same stuff I do now. I wanted to do makeup because I was I love seeing people fully be the best version of themselves. When I did makeup, I was big on my mission statement. You gotta understand, I started at 16. I didn't need for the money. For me, it was oh, I just love making people feel beautiful, and I love experimenting, and when people can give me the artistic freedom to do whatever I want. And so I really that's really me to the core. So when it came to I worked a job with my mom, and I was constantly hearing about dermatologists and around dermatologists, and I was I love what they do. They do the same thing in obviously on a much different scale, but they do the same thing. And I'm I want to do that. And I hear how long residency is, and I'm I don't care. I'm not a quitter. I'm going to stick with whatever it is that I want to do. And so last year, I ended up taking my MCAT, and there was this one day during my MCAT that I just it was the day before my MCAT. And I took a practice test, and I did good. And then I took another practice test. I took 2 practice tests in one day. So mind you, these are 8-hour tests. That second one I did worse, and I was breakdown. Just full mental breakdown, full meltdown. And my boyfriend is just Jalina, calm down, go lay in the bed and don't look at anything. Do not study, do not study. And I still was. I was scrolling through little sheets I had saved in my phone. But it just really broke me, and it reminded me of when I was in college and I had so many low moments feeling I was not good enough, and all I could think about was that the next 8 years or so of my life were still going to be that feeling. And so that's what deters me now. I got my MCAT scores back. I did pretty well, but it's just I just don't know about that feeling again. Simultaneously, as I spent about a year studying for the MCAT, I also started my career in finance, which surprised me. So I got my license for insurance with my dad, just because I was helping him at his office as soon as I graduated. I was I just need something quick, whatever. And he's well, you're not going to be able to get your insurance license so fast. So me being me, I got that license quick, very fast. And I was like, okay, cool. So I was helping him out, barely even used it with him, but I'm getting recruiters constantly. And fast forward, I get a recruiter that finally calls me. I get on a call with him, and I'm like, for some reason we just weren't vibing with each other. And, you know, he's interviewing me. We're both kind of rolling our eyes. We kind of like ended the meeting short. And something told me a few days later, follow up with him about the meeting where you can go hear a little bit more. And I ended up going and hearing more. And for some reason, something just clicked. And I was like, I'm going to do this. And I'm going to be good at this. And so, yeah, so I'm working in finance now. And as I'm getting more licenses, and I ended up becoming investments licensed, which is another hard test, I was studying for those tests while I was studying for the MCAT. So I ended up passing my investments exams. I'm now investments licensed, insurance licensed, and I also got a pretty decent score on my MCAT. Maybe I will use my MCAT. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know about 8 more years of school. I love to travel. I love to be able to even do this. Like, I just love my time. And I trust God's plan for me. And whatever that ends up being is what it's going to end up being. But right now, I am just really enjoying my finance job. I love connecting with my clients. I love helping people the way I do in my job. And I love educating. Like, that's what I do all day. And it just comes so natural to me. Like, it just feels good. So I love doing that. I love being in finance, and I love doing this because this is so different. Like, recording myself doing my makeup is like so fun, and it allows me to be as creative as I am. Okay, so let's get into the questions that you guys really asked. First of all, so grateful for everyone who took the time to ask a question. One of the questions was, what do I do? So I think I already answered that one. Okay, so like I said, I moved from Florida to Houston. And it's only been about 3 months. Somebody asked me, what do you miss the most about Florida and the least? What I miss the most by far is my family. But if I had to say just about the state itself, I would say, just about the state itself. Okay, being able to go to the beach, I guess. But it's like I haven't actually been missing that part so much because I go to the park a lot here because they have great parks here, and in South Florida they just didn't. Like, they didn't have nice open space parks where there's a whole bunch of people. What do I miss the least about Florida? The scene. And I'm not even saying that I do go out, because honestly, I don't really go out here that much. I've gone out a couple times. It's, you know, I'm new to the place. Like, everyone I do know here, I'm trying to connect in some way. So I have gone out, but to say that I like go out on a regular, absolutely not. Just going out, trying to get food, and then me and my boyfriend, let's just say like date night, and we want to go out after dinner. Nothing. There were no moves. Like, you can't just on a random night be like, oh yeah, I want to go somewhere in South Florida. Like, for some reason, you need to know somebody who's somewhere, or you need to know where everybody's planning to be, because there's not like just random stuff going on, unfortunately. So yeah, that's where Houston definitely has a beat. Like, it could be Monday night and you're gonna find something to do. Another person was, somebody asked me, how do I travel so much? So I don't really know if that's like a time thing or like a money thing, but I will answer both, I guess. So me and my boyfriend take a trip every September on our birthdays, because our birthdays are 3 days apart. And so obviously it's both of our birthdays. So for the first one, this was our real first big trip together, and we went to Bali, and like I paid for the places and he paid for the flights. And believe it or not, I ended up paying less, and we were there for 2 weeks. So the flights were pretty expensive. And so yeah, that's it. We both work. He's a rapper. He has some extra other stuff going on. I have a million side hustles most of the time. So God has blessed us with enough to be able to travel. And also we make it a real priority, honestly. Like our birthday trip is a non-negotiable, and we usually do travel more throughout the year. But we kind of do that based on just time in general. Obviously we have, you know, different things going on, and we have to coordinate with each other's schedules. And we also like to travel for a while. So our annual September trip is always 2 weeks, nothing less, because we fly so far. It's like, we're not wasting our time. As far as actually planning these trips out, I put my foot into planning these trips out, okay? I'm happy to talk about it. I'm a big trip planner. Like I said, I love trips. Like vacation, traveling the world is like truly one of my passions. So I'm really good at planning, and like honestly, I only use social media for things that benefit me in some way. So it's usually, I'm gonna be honest, my whole For You page is like self-help or something that's sparking my interest at that moment. So whenever I have a trip coming up, like it's all that place content. Like it's, yeah. Like my boyfriend is very bored by my For You page. I watch his when I need a good laugh, to be honest with you. I've been planning trips for my family and trips with my friends since I was younger. I do use points sometimes, but honestly, as good as I am at using my credit cards, I still have to end up paying for my trip for the most part. Like it might cover like my points might cover like my whole $1,000 flight or something, but it won't necessarily, it's not going to cover like my hotel stays as well. Like, you know, maybe I just haven't learned how to hack my points perfectly yet. You know, I am still learning when it comes to the points game, but very smart. If you don't have it, I would say definitely get yourself a travel card. You don't have to travel just to get points. All you do is spend money the same way you spend money on that debit card, girl. I'm just saying. Anyways, not financial advice. Okay, so since we're on the topic, we'll just stay on the topic for a second and do like, you know, some quicker questions. One person asked me Houston or Dallas. Okay, so I've never been to Dallas. I'm gonna start there before I say anything else. I picked Houston specifically because I knew that the demographic was similar to Florida. I knew it wasn't going to be a culture shock. I think moving anywhere is a shock in and of itself. However, like the demographic here, I've traveled, so I knew already. But there's a lot of black people here. There's a lot of people that are younger, like young professionals here. It's a bit younger. I just heard that Dallas is just, you know, similar, but, you know, just a little bit older. I would say the more sophisticated vibe that people talk about from Dallas is also more my speed. But it's the, you know, it's the young part that gets me here. Like, I want to be around people my age. I'm sorry. Like, I've been acting like an old lady, and I was like, I'm going to come here and I'm just going to, like, you know, I'm going to meet people that are like me. So Dallas, I do need to go check out for myself. And I think I really will enjoy it. I just think if I stay in Texas, I might even end up moving there at some point. But it depends on, you know, when I actually go over there. But based on my very, very intense research, it seemed like Houston was going to be a better fit. And then another person asked me what made me move to Texas, and another question. So starting what made me move to Texas, I just really wanted a change. It doesn't matter how many friends you have in a place. It's like somehow you still kind of feel like you're getting left behind. At least a person like me that feels like I constantly want to be elevating. I constantly want change in my life. That being in the same place with the same people feels like extremely limiting. Staying in the same place and already knowing so much of my options in one place, I was bored and simultaneously uncomfortable with how predictable certain things were. Okay, I got another question that I'm actually super excited to answer. Somebody asked, am I still offering makeup services? And the answer is I am. And I'm just going through a major rebrand as far as the way that I want to be positioned in the makeup space. Being out here, I don't want to be doing the same clientele or, you know, kind of dealing with the same struggles that I was dealing with before. And I feel like those struggles were all based on the point in my life that I was at. I definitely am looking for more to rebrand myself so I can have a more elevated clientele that more aligns with the person that I am now. Even my clients in finance, you know, I'm talking to wealthy people. Like, I'm not really in the young sector necessarily as far as doing, you know, I'm not looking to do sweet 16s and proms like I was in high school so much. Like, I'm looking more to do print and photo shoot work, working with photographers, working with brands, things like that. Weddings even. Weddings are very intense, so, you know, take that with a grain of salt. But yes, I am offering makeup services. I'm just, you know, restructuring who my marketing efforts are geared toward. Okay, somebody asked me, are you ever going to do a try-on haul? Honestly, I don't like to buy orders in bulk anymore. And if a brand does send me, like, you know, a boatload of clothes, I will absolutely do a try-on haul. Like, y'all, that would be a dream. Me personally, I'm not going to be wasteful and order a million things in one order, because I can literally think back to the 3 maybe Shein hauls that I've done, large Shein hauls. I might have 4 or 5 pieces from all of those. Somebody asked, how did me and my boyfriend meet? So if you know anything about me or you follow me on TikTok, you might know my boyfriend, Chi. He is a gem. Love him so much. I would love to tell that story. But we actually are starting our own YouTube channel, so feel free to check that out and subscribe to us. We're gonna be posting our first video this month. And I'm just super excited. We fool around all day, so I'm really excited for y'all to finally see what I have to deal with all day. So yeah, our first video probably will be about how we met. But yeah, go check out Jalichi. Go check out our TikToks too. Honestly, he's a great actor. I would love for y'all to see. My next question was, where did I learn how to do makeup? Girl. Just for a long time, it just didn't look how it was supposed to look. I feel like I came across a couple videos over the years, but I never watched makeup YouTubers ever. Like, I think until this year, I was finally like, let's see what the girls are doing these days, you know, so I could come back to YouTube. But before that, I didn't learn makeup from YouTube at all. Like, where did I learn from the very beginning? Trial and error, truly. And that was how I truly, like, learned my face. And the reason that even happened, or the reason I learned to do my makeup, is because on my 16th birthday, I had a makeup artist, God bless her soul. I looked horrible. So I had to fix it up, and I realized, like, I'm pretty damn good at this. Not like I hadn't been doing makeup before that, but I was like, I could be, like, professional good. And I learned because I didn't like that professional experience. Before that, it was definitely just like, oh, I'm gonna just try it. Whatever. And I think that's how it is when you actually develop passions. I'm just do it. Because when you overthink it, oh, this is what's going to make me rich. This is what I'm going to do forever. I swear to you will never do it. Because, like, you put so much pressure on a little thing like that. No. The last question. Who has been your inspiration to become the person you are today? Not to be sappy, gross, but definitely my little sister. I think that her being in my life, because, right, I was just for reference, my little sister was born when I was 18. So I was like, you know, going into adulthood, for me, it was like, oh my God, this is like my child. And little did I know she'd look like me and act how I acted when I was younger, except better in some way. And it's just like, it made me reflect, like, on the little girl I was, the little girl that I wanted to be, the little girl that had so much passion for certain things. And I just woke up and I was just like, it's not just about me. And there couldn't have been a better time in my life. I'm 18, I'm going into adulthood. And I was like, I'm going to do adulthood right for my little siblings. Mind you, I already had my younger brother before this. But I think I realized my impact with him through her, if that makes sense. But either way, those two are my life. And my parents have done so much to kind of see me be at the point that I am today. And I know what's expected of me, to be honest. I'm the oldest daughter. Like, the bar, yeah. I definitely have high expectations. of myself, and others have high expectations of me. So if I had to really say who is my inspiration to be what I am today, I would say my drive comes from my family. My parents are an inspiration to me. And if I had to look outside of that, outside of my family, I didn't have great mentors growing up. So honestly, that's a really hard question for me. But I could say my inspiration is I feel like I was born with this innate drive, no matter how that sounds, because I know that, can ruffle feathers. Oh, you're just born like that? Yeah, I kind of was. And I feel like there's a lot of people who are born with something in them telling them they are made for greater things than what they've seen their whole life, greater things than what people expect of them. And I'm 100% one of those people, and I expect the very most out of life. I want everything that life has to offer, everything that God wants to bless me with. I am inspired by the promise of a beautiful life one day where I get to raise my own kids who get to look up to their strong, accomplished mother. And that's really enough for me. And my siblings being able to look up to me, like that's everything to me. That's beyond any validation that I could get from money or the internet or anything like that. All right, guys, we're finally done. So this also, I put the wig on myself. I want to come back and do like a juicy Q&A where you guys know a little bit about me. You guys to kind of ask like deeper questions. So follow me on my Instagram. It's Jalinna's. And you guys can go on there. I'm going to be posting like, questions you guys can ask me. But I really hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as I love filming it. And thank you guys so much for the support. Please make sure to subscribe. I am trying so hard to get to 1K subscribers, and I'm super far. But I appreciate every single view that I get from the bottom of my heart. Love you guys so much. I pray that God blesses you. Love you. Bye.